We are living in a very transformative time. And a word that you're hearing a lot in the course of this transformation is community. People are being encouraged to go out into community, to build community, to create community around themselves. And building community, existing within community requires you to be in a symbiotic relationship with others, to be reciprocitous. And that requires you to be vulnerable, to be open. You cannot be walled off. You can't be boundaried. It's good to be open. It's also important to be protected. And so that's what this herbal toolkit is for. It's meant to protect you, particularly if your livelihood involves you defending, advocating, being an activist for the well-being of others. If you are in a position where you are a caretaker, a defender, a giver, then you have to be able to be laced and dipped every day when you walk out the door. And that's really for everybody. It is your responsibility to take care of yourself, to protect yourself so that you can protect your discernment. You can protect your instincts and the places where you receive messages. You can protect yourself physically, energetically, spiritually, and you can do that with plants. And so today we're going to do a protective head wash because hair holds so much energy. We're going to do a protective throat chakra tea to protect your voice, to allow your voice to come through, particularly if you are a woman, because so much about the feminine is under attack right now. And then an adaptogenic herbal cordial. Adaptogens are really beautiful for helping the body. And so that is the protective toolkit that we will do. And so we're going to start with the head wash because hair holds so much energy in it. Maya Angelou talks about how energy gets into your clothes and into the walls. It also gets into your hair. And so we're going to do a head wash with Neem, Comfrey, Rosemary, Lavender, and Peppermint. So we're going to start with Neem. This is Neem. And when you think about Neem, probably neem oil is typically what you think about. What do you see? What comes to your mind's eye as you think about Neem? Neem, if you're a gardener, you think about, oh, these bugs are bothering my plant. Let me go get some neem oil because it'll repel those bugs. Actually, ethnobotanically, so historically, neem leaves used to be used in libraries to protect the pages of the books from insect damage. Neem is a powerful insecticide, and you're saying, okay, why do I want to put an insecticidal herb on my hair? Because not all bugs crawl on plants or on the pages of a book. Some bugs are energetic. Some bugs are spiritual. And so when we talk about herbalism, we're not only talking about this ailment, this plant, we're also talking about this experience, this energy, the way it's now showing up in the physical body. And so then what is the energetic of a plant? Which plant energetic am I going to use to address that issue? And so that's the way that I teach. And if you come here, that's what you're going to learn. So neem leaves, yes, are a powerful insecticide in terms of taking care of parasites and of bugs, but it also takes care of energetic and spiritual bugs. Now, from a medicinal standpoint, neem happens to be antifungal, antiparasitic, antimicrobial, and so some of the skin and scalp conditions that come from microbes or funguses or things like that, like, dandruff, or if you have eczema in your scalp, or you have psoriasis, neem is also going to help that. It's really beautifully anti-inflammatory, and it'll restore the pH balance within your hair. And so it's a beautiful thing to rinse your hair with. So that's our first herb. That's neem. So the next herb that we have is rosemary. Rosemary has a long history of being used for remembrance, for protecting the memory. Rosemary also stimulates hair growth. It reduces inflammation of the scalp. It tones the nervous system, and it promotes immunity. And so if you're having problems with hair thinning or your hair not growing, rosemary from that standpoint, a medicinal standpoint, is a beautiful herb for the hair. But again, we're talking about the energetics of this also. And so again, for protecting your memory, for the remembrance. And so here we have comfrey. And comfrey is comfrey has been used since before Jesus. Comfrey actually was used by the armies of Alexander the Great. They took it into war with them because comfrey is so beautiful at sealing wounds and at healing the skin. This is a deeply nutritive herb. It has lots of vitamins and minerals. It's beautiful for scalp health. It also makes a really good wrinkle cream. So another video again talking about making a wrinkle cream out of comfrey. But comfrey, again, bringing that energy of healing, bringing that energy of closing the skin and protecting it, of creating a protective membrane so that you can heal and that infection can't set in. And so this is comfrey, another energy that is in your head. We have peppermint. Peppermint, it smells amazing. It's really refreshing. It awakens the senses. But the energy of peppermint is actually tied to money. Peppermint was used to pay taxes in Palestine. So that's right. Get your money up. This is the energy that is going on your head. Peppermint is really cooling. It's also stimulating. So it increases the circulation in the scalp. And so you'll feel it like all over your head. And so it's beautiful for scalp health, for bringing in that blood flow, for stimulating it. But again, the energy of peppermint is financial. Get your money. Last but not least, in our head wash blend, we have the beautiful lavender. Lavender, known as the mother of dragons. You teach your dragons when to breathe fire. There's a duality in lavender. This is people associate it with calming and relaxing, and people love the scent of lavender, and all of that is true. Lavender is very sweet and very sensual, but lavender is also beautifully and powerfully protective. Lavender used to be kept in sick rooms to avoid illness and the spread of infection. Women used to also carry lavender to keep themselves from feeling faint. They said that lavender was carried by prostitutes to enhance their scent. I think it was carried for a lot more reasons than that. Lavender is powerfully protective, and that is the energy that you're putting on your skin. Lavender is also very cooling to the scalp. It's also another one that's really great for that pH balance, for the calming of inflammation, and for stimulating scalp. So now you have all of your herbs together. You can pour all of your herbs into that same bowl, and then you're gonna mix them with your hand. I typically like to mix my herbs in a natural bowl. This is a jicara. It's actually like a gourd that's been cut in half, and I like to put my herbs in this. You can put them in a wooden bowl, any natural, but if you don't have that, and all you've got is a plastic bowl or a glass bowl, whatever it is that you have is what's most important. This is just what I like to use. But the important thing is that I want you to mix your herbs, and whether I am mixing herbs for someone else or for myself, I always set my intention over the herbs. I tell them what it is that I want them to do for me. You know, they call it crazy old ladies that talk to plants. Be, you know, one of those crazy people that talks to plants because they hear you. You're taking the energy of these plants and you're putting them on you, or you're drinking them, or you're smoking them. You're doing whatever it is that you're doing with this plant. You're asking it to give you energy. Tell it what it is that you want. Set your intentions over the herbs. Feel the energy of the plants as you're rubbing them in your fingers. If you're making this for someone else, say their name. There's so much power in someone's name. Say your own name. Call in whoever it was that was medicinal in your family to help you to put your energy into these plants. And so mix this in. I like to do a lot of times to play music, whatever the vibe is that I'm trying to do as I'm doing this. And so for this, if I'm doing a protective head wash, I'm playing. Move, 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 move. That's all I can say now. Y'all know the lyric. But you set your intention in these herbs as you mix them together in your plants. Pray over your herbs. Say the name of whoever it is, whether it's your name or someone else, that you're making this head wash for as you mix them together. And again, this is individual and personal. Take as much time as you want to until you and the plants stop communicating with each other. But put your hands in there, dig in, and come back and leave me a comment and tell me if you felt the energy of these plants. Isn't that a beautiful blend? After you blend your herbs together, if you've made more than what you're going to use at one time, then you should put them in either a glass jar, a glass container with a lid, or if you have a resealable bag, you can put your herbs in a resealable bag. And so to use your herbs, what you're going to do is you're going to take about 4 tablespoons of herbs and put them into a big, deep bowl. You're then going to boil about 16 ounces of water. You're going to bring it to a boil. That's what we know is good water. And then you're going to pour that over your herbs into this big bowl that you have. It could be a plastic bowl or a metal mixing bowl, whatever it is that you have. And then you're going to cover that bowl. It can either be with a pot top or you can cover it with a towel. Whatever it is, you don't want to let all of the beautiful oils from all of these herbs escape in the vapors of the boiling water. So you want to cover that and let it cover it and steep and let it completely cool. Once it cools, then you can strain the herbs off. So you can strain it, you can just run it through a colander or run it through a big strainer. And then now you have your cooled head wash. And so wash your hair as you normally do, put your conditioner in it as you normally do. And then what I like to do is I like to dip my head into that deep bowl, put my hair in there and like really let it cover my head, or you can pour it over, whatever it is that's easier. Babies do not care that I'm talking to you all about a head wash. So life is life, and my grandson is just doing what he does. Anyway, that is your head wash. And now we're gonna move on to our throat chakra tea, making sure that we're protected. And so there's a throat chakra tea that is really beautifully protective for your voice and balancing some of that fire that needs to be in your voice, also with some softness. So the herbs that are in the throat chakra tea, it's my Iman using his throat chakra, are Echinacea, Chamomile, Marshmallow, ginger, orange peel, and cinnamon. It is a beautiful, pretty tea. It's also very aromatic and it tastes delicious. So let's get into the herbs that are in the throat chakra. First herb, chamomile. Chamomile is known as the baby herb. Chamomile is beautifully protective and nurturing. You can actually plant a chamomile plant next to other plants that are not doing well, and you can witness those plants actually do better. Chamomile is okay for everyone. My grandson, my 10-month-old grandson, drinks chamomile every day. I make him 10 ounces of chamomile tea and I put it in his bottle and he sips it throughout the day. This is an herb that has a very Oshun-like energy, and you can wrap yourself in it. It's super protective. It's when you want to be softer with yourself, to give yourself grace. Really beautifully nurturing, super protective chamomile. Next herb we have is Echinacea. You may know Echinacea as purple coneflower. Echinacea is emergency medicine. Echinacea is deeply connected to the immune system. It's actually what is in most medication that's meant to fight off viruses and infections. You would take Echinacea at the moment that you feel illness. And so it's deeply connected to prevent, it activates your immune system. It turns everything on. It says, hey, alert, 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 invaders here, go attack it. That's the energy of Echinacea. And so it's opening your throat while also protecting your. The next herb we have in our throat chakra tea blend is marshmallow. So marshmallow is deeply soothing and softening to mucous membranes. It brings softness into hard places. So if you're having anything where you're having, whether it's a sore throat or urinary tract infection, anywhere where you're really having trouble with your mucous membranes, you can drink marshmallow tea and it'll really soften those places. Women going through menopause, marshmallow. But that's the energy. It is softening the throat to allow your voice to come through. And that's the energy of marshmallow in this throat chakra. Finally, we have the last 3 ingredients in our throat chakra blend, and they are cinnamon, ginger root, and orange. Cinnamon energetically is great for folks who are cut off from their emotions. They are the people that are deeply boundaried, and it's like, nope, I'm just gonna cut everything off so that I can just get through my work and I don't have any places of vulnerability. It is beautiful for folks like that. And so it kind of brings you back to your emotions. It increases that circulation and opens up the heart space. It's also a pain reliever. So it's beautiful if you physically have anything wrong with your throat. It's beautiful for that. And so that's cinnamon to really like kind of open up those spaces. And then you have orange peel. Now, orange peel is more high in vitamin C than the actual orange. And so it's beautiful for that. It's beautiful for immunity. So again, bringing that protective influence into a throat chakra blend, but also bringing in the vitamins and minerals that are really helpful in terms of like if you're suffering from things that attack the throat, so respiratory infections, viral infections, it helps with that. And then lastly, you have ginger, which ginger is beautiful for, again, stimulating, bringing in that warmth, bringing in that heat, opening up that space, allowing your throat to open, to bring in that fire and to really connect you back with yourself, to really bring that invigoration to it. And so ginger, orange peel, cinnamon, added finally into that throat chakra blend. Once again, we have a really pretty blend that smells wonderful. And again, we want to mix this blend with our hands, say the names of whoever it is that we are creating this blend for. And even if that's for ourselves, call your name and then mix this blend together with your hands. And so again, mixing this, right? And so mix it with your hands, really get in there, say your name, play your music if you want. I don't know, I was thinking about what would I play as I was fixing this, and it would be anything where it feels like it's empowering. Any song that feels like you could use your voice. A favorite for me is Can't Hold Us Down by Christina Aguilera. Never Can, Never Will is one. But whatever it is that moves you, feel the herbs in your hands. Set your intention over it. Speak your name or speak whoever's name it is that you're making for this. There's so much power in that name. Really feel the herbs as you're making your blend. Pray over it if that's what you want to do. And really set your intention over the energy of these herbs. And once again, you want to put them into a glass container or into a resealable plastic bag. So the way that you make your tea is you want to take 1 tablespoon of herbs per 8 ounces of water. And remember, we use good water, which is a boiling water. I very rarely drink my tea hot because I live in Florida. So I drink my tea cold a lot. And what you never want to do is pour hot tea over ice because then that dilutes it. So what you can do is you can make a batch of tea. You don't make just a cup. So I would use 3 tablespoons of herbs to 24 ounces of boiling water. In either case, no matter how much you make, you want to pour the boiling water over your herbs. So 1 tablespoon per 8 ounces, and you want to cover it. And you want to cover it and let it steep for 15 minutes at least, 15 to 20 minutes. Uncover it, strain it. If you're going to drink it hot, trust me, it'll still be piping hot. If you want to drink it cold, strain it and then put it in the refrigerator or the freezer to really get it to cool quickly. And then you can add your ice and you can enjoy your cooled tea. And this is your throat chakra tea blend to soften up your throat, to open the throat. And what I will say to the ladies that are watching this is the structure of your throat, anatomically and energetically, is attached to your lady parts. At the time that your embryo was forming, when the cells split, the top part became your throat and the bottom part became your pelvis. And if you look at anatomically at those two things, they almost look the same. And so when one part of you won't speak, the other one will. And so this is a beautiful blend for both men, but especially women, to open up that throat chakra. Last but not least, in our arsenal of energy protective herbal blends is an adaptogenic cordial. So what is an adaptogen? An adaptogen is an herb that helps the body respond to stress. It helps the body adapt. And there are lots of adaptogens out there, but what I chose for you in this is Tulsi. All adaptogens support the adrenal glands, right? And so you know that the adrenal glands are responsible for cortisol, the stress hormone. And so all of the adaptogenic herbs support the adrenal gland, help the body manage stress. And the one that I chose for you out of all of the different adaptogens is the one that's probably easiest for you to get a hold of, and that is Tulsi. And so this is Tulsi. Now, a word about Tulsi, also known as holy basil, is that there are three different types. There's Kapoor Tulsi, there's Krishna Tulsi, there's Rana Tulsi, and there's Avana Tulsi. I prefer Kapoor Tulsi because I like the way that it tastes. The leaves are a little bigger, and that's what I'm showing you here. This is Kapoor Tulsi. But there's also Krishna Tulsi, which to me is a little bitter. It has a little bit of a different bite. But there's 4 different types. My preference is Kapoor, but you could use any of them. And Tulsi is very easy to find. Tulsi grows like a weed. And what I say to people about weeds is weeds are like longevity herbs, right? They don't necessarily increase your lifespan, but they make the time that you have here better. I love longevity herbs because of their resilience. And so again, we're talking about the energy of the plant, not just this plant for this issue, but what are the energetics of the plant that I'm trying to, and the energy that I'm trying to address. And so I love Tulsi because it behaves like a weed. And what is it that we know about weeds? The more that you try to eradicate a weed, it's like, well, I'm gonna live. That thing done spread seeds all over the place long before you even try to dig it out. It's almost as if you try to dig it out and it likes it. It's so hard to get rid of weeds. That's the resilience. That's the energy of what you're putting on you, or rather what you're putting in you with Tulsi. Tulsi also has this ancient type of energy to it. It calls in spirit. It feels deeply spiritual, and it is. And so in addition to it, like I said, supporting the adrenal gland, being a really beautiful adaptogen, it has that longevity, you not gonna kill me kind of energy in it. And that's why we love Tulsi. So all you need is Tulsi, and you need a beautiful port wine. You can use a port wine or you can use a brandy, but in this, because we're making a cordial, get yourself a nice port wine. And so what I'm using is 4 tablespoons. I don't break this into 2. And so what you're gonna need is a mason jar, the size of your preference. And so especially if this is your first time adding herbs to any kind of liquor, I would suggest go small. This is a 16-ounce jar. It is not the smallest jar. You can get an 8-ounce jar. I wouldn't do a 4, that's almost too small. But you want a mason jar, and you want one with a lid, and then you have your Tulsi. And so in this case, this is a 12-ounce jar. Your ratio is 1/4 of herbs to then the other 3/4 is going to be wine. So in this case, we're going to do 4 ounces of Tulsi, and then the other 12 ounces will be actual wine. So I would put the Tulsi in here. Let's see if we can do this without spilling it. Hold on a second. So you get the Tulsi into the jar, and one more second. Yeah, you get your herbs into your jar like we have here, so, and then you're going to pour your wine on top of it. You pour your wine on top of it, you put your lid on top of it, and then you're going to let it sit minimum 2 weeks. Taste it at 2 weeks, see if you like it. If you like it, strain it, especially if it's your first time, but I like to let them go for 4 weeks. And so then at 4 weeks, I would then strain the wine out, and you would have a small shot glass a night. And that's at night after you've been through a long day, take a small shot glass of your Tulsi cordial. And it's a beautiful way to end your evening, to get the energy of that longevity herb in you, and to support your adrenal gland and the production of cortisol and help you manage stress. And so again, you would pour your herbs on top of this. You would put the lid on top of it, and over the 2 weeks or 4 weeks that you're allowing this to sit, you would shake it every night. Set your intention on it. Setting your intention on any of the medicine that you're making for yourself is super, super, super important. Strain it at either 2 weeks or strain it at 4 weeks, and then enjoy a shot glass of it. So there you have it. You have your head wash to clear the energy out of your hair. And also, you know, to support scalp health and healthy hair growth, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, stimulating and cooling to your scalp and to your ori, to your crown. You also have your throat chakra blend to help soothe and smooth those throat muscles and allow your voice to come up and allow your voice to come through. And then your adaptogenic cordial that you'll take a sip of every night. You must develop the habit of pouring into yourself, of taking care of yourself in the morning before you leave out the door. Make sure you are laced and dipped in protection, and go out there and do your work. And then when you come home, wash it off and decompress and take care of yourself. The ingredients of everything is in the caption. The full formulas are in the caption. If you like this content, if you like this video, or if you want to learn more about taking care of yourself in different ways that you can use herbs, then please like and subscribe. And you can always message me if you have any questions about anything. Protect yourself. Protection rather than boundaries as you go out and do your work.